Welcome to Death on Clare Island, Chapter 3. I arrived in Ireland 6 months prior to my stay on Clare Island. Most days I like it, other days I'm not so sure. I like the wild gales that rattle the cottage windows and doors at night. I love the rainbows that form each morning. These opposing elements symbolize how I've felt for a long time now. Sometimes I'm fragile, as if my life could shatter into a million pieces at any moment. Other times I forget the sadness and yearn to move on with my life in the US. If not for Dylan's Aunt Georgina, I would have returned to the States by now. But she's determined to keep me here, since according to her, there's not a soul in the States whom I can call family. Truthfully, I don't give a damn about claiming French Hill Cottage. What I want more than anything is to find my mother. She vanished 2 days after my 6th birthday without a word, a note, or a goodbye. I remember the silence that greeted me that morning when I woke and raced out of my tiny bedroom, eager for her daily dose of hugs and kisses. But she didn't deliver those embraces that day or since. Instead, I sat at the kitchen table, listening to the recurring clicks of the clock, growing louder in the dark silence engulfing me. The hours beat away until the shadows cast by our few belongings merged into the darkness. Finally, I rose, opened our apartment door, and rang Mrs. Mueller's bell. Abandoned. That's what the police said. But I didn't believe it then, and now I'm determined to prove it isn't true. My mother didn't speak about my father, whom I never met, although it's a safe bet he too came from the Emerald Isle. There are enough freckles on my face for 2 maps of Ireland. I spent time in a series of foster homes until the angels intervened and I ended up within a foster to adopt home with the O'Briens, who completed the official paperwork when I was 10. Fate assaulted me again 2 months after my 18th birthday. I was supposed to be with them that day. Getting the call about the Cessna's crash was like going back in time. In one moment, I was abandoned again. But in life, the O'Briens had surrounded me with love. So in death, their memory sustained me. One thing I made a point of keeping from Bridget was that I'd already decided to make inquiries about Matthew. I didn't like the way the guards took it for granted that he was a drug user. Guilty or not, they and everyone on Clear Island branded him as if anything else good he'd done in his life washed away in the water, as if he'd been abandoned, I couldn't help feeling. I knew they were wrong about my mother, and the same gut instinct told me they were probably wrong about Matthew. So I'd learn what I could about him and what he had to say in life and in death, and perhaps come to a different conclusion than they did.